On paper, the RTX 5090 gaming laptop promises the impossible 10,496 CUDA cores and 24 gigabytes of memory, pushing Cyberpunk 2077 over 270 frames per second. But raw silicon means nothing if the thermal and engineering battles inside these so-called desktop replacers can't keep up. Every top manufacturer claims desktop-class power, but which design unlocks it, and what do you lose chasing the absolute ceiling? The real story begins deep inside the silicon, where the numbers on the box and the reality inside these luxury machines are never the same. Inside every high-end gaming laptop of 2026, the RTX 5090 GPU stands as the centerpiece. Built on NVIDIA's Blackwell architecture, this chip moves beyond sheer brute force. It packs 10,496 CUDA cores and 24 gigabytes of GDDR7 memory connected over a 256-bit bus. Real-world demos have shown this silicon breaking past 270 frames per second in Cyberpunk 2077 at 4K with ray tracing enabled, a number that until now belonged to desktop towers. The leap is not just about more cores or faster memory. The backbone of this generation is DLSS4, NVIDIA's latest AI-powered upscaling. DLSS4 introduces multi-frame generation, a technique that uses deep learning to synthesize 2 or even 3 new frames for every one the GPU actually renders. This means a laptop running a demanding title like Cyberpunk 2077 at native 4K might see its frame rate jump from under 60 to over 270, all while keeping latency in check. Ray reconstruction, another new feature, relies on AI to denoise ray-traced effects, producing sharper lighting and reflections without the usual performance hit. The transformer-based model at the heart of DLSS4 is engineered for efficiency. It leverages the RTX 5090's tensor cores, now upgraded with FP8 precision, to deliver high frame rates and improved image quality, especially at 4K and above. This AI stack also powers NVENC encoding, slashing streaming latency by up to 40% in supported profiles and accelerating creative workloads like video exports and denoising. But these gains come with a price. The RTX 5090's power draw ranges from 95 to 175 watts, depending on the laptop's chassis and cooling. In the most aggressive configurations, the GPU can sustain 175 watts, but only if the laptop's thermal design keeps junction temperatures below 90 degrees Celsius. That is why the most powerful models are thick, heavy, and packed with vapor chambers or liquid metal compounds. Without serious cooling, the silicon's peak clocks and promised frame rates quickly drop under sustained load. The numbers on the spec sheet, core count, memory, demo frames per second, set a new ceiling for mobile gaming. Yet every watt of power and every degree of heat shapes what is possible inside these machines. The RTX 5090's capabilities define the upper limits, but how each laptop manages those limits is where the story turns from theory to reality. MSI's Raider A18 HX stands at the top of the desktop replacement class, engineered for gamers and creators who demand sustained UN-throttled power. Its 18-inch chassis is not just for show, it houses a cooling system built around a vapor chamber, 7 heat pipes, and dual high-pressure fans. Under heavy load, this setup channels heat away from the RTX 5090 and Intel Core Ultra 9275 HX, allowing both chips to draw a combined 260 watts without tripping thermal limits. According to one MSI thermal engineer, the Raider's airflow geometry is designed to keep GPU junctions under 90 degrees Celsius even after an hour of 4K gaming. The Overboost Ultra firmware pushes the GPU to its 175-watt ceiling. With fan curves tuned for maximum headroom, not silence, this approach comes with consequences. The Raider tips the scales at nearly 3.6 kilograms, and its 99.9 watt-hour battery exists more for convenience than true unplugged play. The sheer size, coupled with a 6-speaker audio system and dual Thunderbolt 5 ports, makes it clear this is a machine built to replace a desktop, not to slip into a backpack. Jotabook's Gaming X N16, though less widely reviewed, follows the same philosophy. The company's CTO, Victor Orlov, describes their design as a no-compromise platform for sustained 4K rendering and AI workflows. While detailed benchmarks remain scarce, early CES demos showed the N16 holding peak clocks on the RTX 5090 through extended stress tests, thanks to a thick chassis and aggressive multi-fan staging. Boutique scarcity means the N16 is hard to find outside select regions, but its engineering signals a focus on stability over mobility. Both laptops illustrate the trade-off at this end of the spectrum. To fully unlock the RTX 5090's power, designers have to prioritize thermal headroom and stable voltage delivery above all else. For buyers, the reward is clear: desktop-class performance in a portable shell, but with real sacrifices in weight and everyday carry. These heavyweight builds set the bar for what is possible when mobility takes a back seat to raw, sustained power. For gamers and creators who need power on the go, the new breed of high-end laptops brings a different kind of advantage. The MSI Vector HX AI, Razer Blade 16, and ASUS ROG Strix G18 do not chase the size or weight of desktop replacements. Instead, they focus on delivering strong performance in a form factor that can travel, work in a coffee shop, or handle a full day of classes before plugging in. Each model leans on the RTX 5090's AI features, but the benefits go beyond just gaming frame rates. Power. The MSI Vector HX AI shows how slim design meets efficiency. Its slim chassis houses the same RTX 5090 silicon found in heavier machines, but it is tuned for efficiency. The laptop's NVENC encoder, built into the GPU, takes over live video encoding during game streams or creative exports, offloading what used to be a heavy CPU task. In practice, a streamer running OBS reported that a 60-minute 4K gameplay recording finished encoding and uploading before the battery dropped below 50%, something that would have been unthinkable even a year ago. The AI acceleration does not just speed things up, it keeps the laptop cooler and quieter since the processor is not running at full tilt. The Razer Blade 16 stands out for battery life among high-end gaming laptops. While most machines in this class struggle to last more than a couple of hours unplugged, the Blade routinely stretches to 4 or 5 hours during mixed use, including web browsing, video calls, and light editing. This is thanks to conservative power profiles and NVIDIA's latest efficiency gains. When gaming, the Blade's slim design means it cannot sustain maximum clocks as long as bulkier rivals, but for hybrid users who split time between gaming, work, and creative projects, the trade-off pays off. The Blade's OLED display also covers a wide color gamut, making it comfortable for video editing as well as late-night gaming sessions. The ASUS ROG Strix G18 follows a similar philosophy and focuses on balance. Its cooling system, while not as aggressive as the biggest models, is engineered to strike balance. The Strix G18 leverages both the RTX 5090's AI features and a dedicated NPU to accelerate background tasks, including voice isolation during streams, real-time upscaling for video calls, and denoising for creative apps. These features run efficiently enough to avoid draining the battery in under an hour, a common pain point for older gaming laptops. A streamer who tested both the Vector HX AI and the Strix G18 described the experience as finally being able to stream and record without having to lug around a power brick or worry about thermal throttling killing the show. For users who need their laptop to handle more than just gaming, whether it is encoding, streaming, or creative work, these models offer a real-world edge. They prove that with the right balance of AI acceleration and smart thermal design, high-end gaming laptops in 2026 do not have to choose between power and portability. Few things change the feel of gaming like a truly massive display. The ASUS ROG Strix G18 makes its presence known before it even powers on, with an 18-inch panel that dominates any desk it lands on. This is not just about size for the sake of spectacle. The extra screen real estate transforms the way games, creative apps, and even everyday tasks play out on a laptop. For players who crave immersion, the G18's QHD+ or 4K options, paired with up to 240 Hz refresh rates, deliver a field of view that pulls the action right to the edge of your vision. Open-world titles stretch wide, user interface elements breathe, and split-screen multitasking finally feels natural. The ergonomic impact is immediate. With an 18-inch display, menus and heads-up displays do not crowd the scene. Racing games and flight simulators feel more cinematic, while fast-paced shooters benefit from the wider periphery. The G18's panel covers 100% of the DCI-P3 color space, making vibrant environments and detailed textures pop in a way that smaller screens just cannot match. For creators, the extra inches mean a full editing timeline or multiple tool palettes can coexist without compromise. Desk footprint is the trade-off. The G18 is not a machine you will casually move from room to room. At over 3.1 kilograms and with a chassis that stretches nearly 40 centimeters wide, it is built for a permanent spot. But for those who want a laptop that can double as a desktop, the payoff is clear. a display experience that rivals standalone monitors, without the cable clutter or fixed setup. ASUS product manager for the ROG Strix series, Jun Takahashi, describes the G18 as a laptop for gamers who want the full theater experience but still need the flexibility to pack up and move. He points to the cooling architecture beneath the panel, multiple heat pipes, quad exhaust fans, and a liquid metal application on both the CPU and the GPU as the foundation that lets the RTX 5090 run at high wattage without sacrificing frame rates or comfort during long sessions. According to Takahashi, the G18's thermal headroom was designed specifically to keep surface temperatures in check, even when the GPU draws its full 175 watts while gaming at 4K. The immersive benefits of the 18-inch display do not just apply to games. For students or professionals, the ability to keep reference material, chat windows, and creative software open side by side turns the G18 into a mobile workstation. The panel's high refresh rate and fast response times mean it is as ready for esports as it is for AAA blockbusters. In a market where portability often means compromise, the Strix G18 stands out for those who value immersion above all else. The machine's bulk is the price of admission for a gaming experience that feels less like using a laptop and more like stepping into a dedicated gaming suite. As the story moves deeper into the technical demands of cooling and sustained performance, the G18's design choices set the stage for what is required to keep high-powered hardware running smoothly under such a massive, demanding screen. Stress testing strips away marketing gloss, exposing the real boundaries of modern gaming laptops. When the RTX 5090 is pushed through hours of 4K, ray-traced rendering, thermal design, not raw silicon, sets the ceiling for sustained performance. Lab-grade thermal imaging and power analysis reveal a stubborn pattern. Even flagship models edge toward 90 degrees Celsius at the GPU junction within half an hour under continuous load. Once this threshold is reached, firmware and hardware step in, dialing back clock speeds and power draw. The result is a consistent 10 to 20% drop from initial peak performance, a reality that holds across brands and chassis sizes. Gamers Nexus, known for their exhaustive multi-hour benchmarks and meticulous teardowns, has confirmed these findings throughout the 2026 lineup. Their data shows that laptops like the MSI Raider A18 HX and HP Omen Max 16 can maintain the RTX 5090's full 175 watt power for about 15 to 20 minutes. As heat saturates the vapor chamber and heat pipes, clock speeds fall from 1,750 MHz to around 1,500 MHz, with 3D Mark speed way scores dropping by 10 to 15% over a 2-hour run. Even with advanced cooling, liquid metal compounds, and quad fan arrays, the decline persists, though less sharply. Surface temperatures on keyboards and palm rests can climb to 45 degrees Celsius, while fan noise surges past 50 decibels as the system struggles to shed heat. Slimmer laptops, such as the Razer Blade 16 and MSI Vector HX AI, face these limits sooner. With less internal volume and smaller heat sinks, junction temperatures hit the 90 degrees Celsius cap more quickly. Sustained GPU power falls to 150 watts or below after just 20 minutes of continuous gaming, and clock speeds can drop by as much as 300 MHz from their initial peak. In these systems, long-duration tests from Gamers Nexus show that effective frame rates during extended play sessions are 15 to 20% lower than the numbers seen in short synthetic benchmarks. DLSS4's multi-frame generation and AI upscaling can ease thermal pressure in supported games, letting laptops hold higher clocks a bit longer. Still, the fundamental limits remain. Once the cooling system saturates, performance steps down to protect the silicon. This is not a flaw, but a fact of physics in portable machines. Even the best engineered laptops are governed by heat transfer and power density. Independent validation from labs like Gamers Nexus grounds these results. Their standardized multi-hour loops and real-time monitoring provide a clear data-driven view. Regardless of brand, the RTX 5090's sustained laptop performance drops by 10 to 20% under heavy load. Endurance depends on how well each system manages heat over time. HP's Omen Max 16 AKR073NG stands out in the numbers game, leading the current generation of high-end gaming laptops with its RTX 5090 running at a full 175 watts. In synthetic benchmarks, the Omen Max posts a 3D Mark Speedway score of 6,643, one of the highest recorded for any mobile RTX 5090 configuration to date. This figure is not just for the spec sheet, it translates to smooth 4K gaming in demanding titles with frame rates that rarely dip below 70 frames per second in Cyberpunk 2077, ray tracing ultra even during extended sessions. Reviewers from Hardware Unboxed and Digital Foundry have highlighted the Omen's ability to hold its clocks and power for longer than most, thanks to its robust cooling and stable voltage delivery. The Omen Max also delivers when it comes to esports. In CS2 and Valorant, it saturates 240Hz high refresh panels at 1440p, with average frame rates well above 300 frames per second. This headroom ensures not only smooth visuals, but also consistent frame pacing during competitive play. NVENC encoding, powered by the RTX 5090's AI stack, keeps streaming latency low, making the Omen a favorite for creators who need to game and broadcast simultaneously without compromise. Beyond raw performance, practical usability matters. The Omen Max 16 offers a full suite of I/O dual USB, Type-A 3.2 ports, 2 USB Type-C ports including Thunderbolt 4 with DisplayPort and power delivery, HDMI 2.1 for 4K at 120Hz or 8K at 60Hz output, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, and a 3.5mm audio jack. While it skips the SD card reader found on some rivals, its upgrade paths are among the best in class. The bottom panel can be removed without voiding the warranty, granting direct access to 2 DDR5 SO-DIMM slots for up to 64 GB of RAM and dual M2 PCIe slots supporting up to 2 TB of storage each. This serviceability means buyers can extend the laptop's lifespan with simple upgrades, a rarity in the premium segment. For those comparing options, a checklist emerges. The MSI Raider A18 HX, Vector 16 HX AI, and ASUS ROG Strix G18 all deliver Thunderbolt 4, HDMI 2.1, and full-speed Ethernet, but the Omen Max stands out for its user-friendly upgrade design and verified sustained benchmark scores. The Razer Blade 16, while sleek, relies on soldered RAM and fewer upgrade slots, trading expandability for a thinner profile. Lenovo's Legion Pro 5 offers strong upgrade potential and value, but trails in synthetic and real-world performance against the Omen Max and Raider. Expert commentary from Hardware Unboxed and Digital Foundry reinforces these distinctions. Their charts consistently place the Omen Max at the top for sustained 4K and esports performance, while also praising its accessible internals. For buyers, the final decision comes down to priorities. If peak performance and upgrade flexibility are essential, the Omen Max 16 ASUS073NG checks every box. For those willing to trade some power for portability or design, the Razer Blade 16 and Vector 16 HX AI remain compelling. But the Omen's blend of speed, serviceability, and I/O breadth makes it a standout in 2026. Every leap in laptop power raises the bar for what's possible and what's expected. With RTX 5090 chips now rivaling desktops, the real race is no longer just about speed, but about who defines the boundaries of portability and trust. In this market, performance claims demand proof, and innovation means nothing without transparency. The future of gaming laptops will be won by those who deliver both. What matters most to you?